Yo, what's good everybody, it's your girl French Vanilla here, and today I'm going to learn how to region guess in Vietnam for 1 hour in Geoguessr. So, let's see how I do, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so, any metas that I know, I feel like this meta is going to be something about the plants or the trees that are kind of surrounding me, because a lot of them have these like blue bands around them, so I'm assuming that means it's like a particular type of tree, or maybe in a particular stage of growth. We do see a chicken, hello Mr. Chicken. But I don't know what types of trees these are, so I'll just go near Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, not too far. These were actually rubber trees. So rubber tree plantations are primarily found in the provinces to the north of Ho Chi Minh City, as well as in several parts of the Central Highlands. Rubber trees can be recognized by their thin trunks. In Vietnam, it is typical for a section of the tree trunk to be wrapped in a piece of plastic. These trees tend to be neatly organized in a dense grid-like pattern. Okay. So none of the rubber trees that I saw before. I do see this like round concrete pole with like holes in the side of it. I feel like the meta might be this thing that's attached to the pole, because I don't know if I learned it in like a pole top video or something like that, but I feel like I remember this like means something for a certain part of Vietnam, but I don't remember which part. So basically like the lamp head is like out a foot from like the actual pole itself, because there's like a bar connecting the two, so it's not attached like to the actual pole itself. So that round concrete pole, there's also these like kind of like things like behind like the fence like on the property, which are kind of like, it reminds me of like a hut or something like that, but it seems like it's made out of straw or like hay. But I'm guessing that the meta is the pole top here. I could be wrong, so let's go near Pleiku. Okay, not horrible. We got 2.6, so this was a side-mounted lamp. So, lamp mounted to the side of the pole with 2 brackets is only found in the region shown on the second image, and let's take a look at that second image. It's kind of like this middle section. So, from like Da Nang down to what area? Down to Khoi Non. Okay, so from here to here is if I see 2 brackets on the lamps. Okay, 2 brackets on the lamps I am looking for. I think like with these like first couple of rounds, I'm just like, whatever like first metas I learned, like I'm just checking to make sure it's those or not those. Because that is really mostly what I have to go off of. We're near some sort of like, maybe like a river or something like that. It's kind of like a greenish color. I don't see any like brackets, any like lamp metas. I feel like this is some sort of farmland meta. Maybe it's kind of like a flat-ish farmland. I mean, I could see some like palms and stuff in the distance. I don't really see anything being grown. I do see some like different types of trees, but yeah, nothing that particularly stands out to me. So let's just go near Buon Tria. Okay, a lot further south. So, oh, it was a canal. Okay, so Vietnam South Canal. So canals are very commonly found in the Mekong Delta. Canals can also be found in the north, but the landscape is very different. Okay, so canals most commonly found in the Mekong Delta, so a lot more southern. Do not see any canals. Do not see a double mounted bracket. I do see kind of like rusty guardrails, or I'm not sure if they're rusty exactly, but there might just be like dirt kicked up on them because they're not like shiny or gray. So I do see concrete poles as well, but nothing with like a double mounted bracket. I do see a lot of mountains around, so it could be some sort of like mountainous region meta. We are in front of a house. I'm wondering if maybe something about the architecture of the house is the meta, maybe like the type of roofing or like the type of door, something like that. But yeah, I think those are the major things that I can like see in this round that could be potentially meta, but I don't know it off the top of my head, so I'll go near Hua Lu. Okay, even further north, this was traditional architecture. So traditional architecture can mostly be found in the north, but can be seen in Dak Lak and Gia Le. The landscape will generally be flatter in these 2 areas, which can be a good clue for that area. Okay, so traditional architecture near Dak Lak and Gia Le, so kind of like further north up here, and then there's kind of a region more in the middle, like down here. Okay. Spinning around to see if there's any metas I recognize. So no double mounted bracket as far as I'm aware. Is this traditional architecture ever? I don't think it feels the same as the last house. Looking at the lamps or anything. I do see a ton of mountains around, so maybe it could be like a mountain meta. Lamp looks like it's attached to the actual pole itself. There's that building in the back, which is kind of like a 3 or 4 story building. It's yellow, it has a reddish roof. I don't see any canals, I think. I do see like some sort of like plant or something being grown. I'm not sure what the meta is here because it doesn't remind me of any of the other ones I've learned so far. So let's go near Binson. Okay, even further north. So I guess it was a traditional architecture meta. I think it's one I'll probably just need to see a couple of times over and over again to like learn like what the different variations look like, because I think I was just kind of looking for an exact match. But traditional architecture mostly found in north. 7K, let's keep going and keep learning. Okay. Ooh, okay. Double mounted bracket. It has the 2 bars. So this is definitely the meta that I had before. The double mounted bracket, I feel like it was between Da Nang and Khoi Non. So I'll go right in the middle. Like kind of like Sa Huyn. Okay, not the meta I was like looking for, but I don't think it was like the worst region guess in the world. This was a ventilation electric box. So meter box designs with trapdoor style windows plus ventilation slits on the sides are very common in the province of Kanhua. It can be found everywhere in the province from rural villages to coastal areas. Note that other regular meter box designs can be found throughout the whole country. Okay, so if I see these like kind of like slits on the side of a meter box, then I might be in this region over here. Okay. No electric box. Okay. Looking at the pole tops. No double mounted bracket. Okay. Are these canals? I mean, they're river. There's like water, but I don't think they're canals, right? Doesn't seem like traditional architecture. Doesn't seem like rubber trees, I think. So, I feel like it's going to be a new meta that I'm not sure of yet. Let's go near Kai An. Okay, it was actually the canal meta. Vietnam South canals. Canals are very commonly found in the Mekong Delta. Canals can also be found in the north, but the landscape is very different. Okay. So I don't think this is a canal meta. I don't think it's a rubber tree meta. I do see kind of like a lot of palms around. I do see a lot of mountains around. The architecture, I mean, they're kind of like a lot of like white houses with like reddish roofs. Ooh, the meter box. I do see like the lines on the side of it, right? If this thing in the back is the meter box, so if that is the meter box, I think like that region was like somewhere over here. Unless this thing is like the meter box and I'm looking at the wrong box. So I feel like they both might be meter boxes, question mark. Okay, I'll take it. We got 3.8K, so I did correctly identify that it was the ventilation electric box meta with like the slits in the side of it. And I think I guessed close-ish to the right region. I don't know if I was particularly in it because I don't know. Is this outline with like the dash line? Is that the whole region? But 3.8, I'll take it. So let's keep going. Okay, this dirt is very red. I think this is the first round we've seen with like reddish dirt in Vietnam so far. So we are near ground concrete poles, I think, which are common all over the country. There is a pole with one additional support under, so going diagonally from like the concrete pole itself into like the thin bar at the top. It's only on one side, so that could potentially be the meta. It could be the red dirt as well. I'm seeing potentially like a lot of like bamboo around, so it could be like maybe a vegetation, like bamboo is grown more particularly in one area of the country. I'm looking at the meter box. I don't think it's the one with like the slits on the side of it. We're definitely near some sort of like plantation or farmland. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this is one that I've had before, but the red dirt does remind me of Cambo, so I'm like gonna go near like Cambo border. Like I'll go near Bo Tuk and we'll see where it is. Okay, these were pepper plantations. So a little bit more like northeast in the country. So pepper plantations are most commonly found in Dak Nong, Dak Lak, and Ya Lai provinces. So kind of a little bit more northeast of where I was. But I got 1.9, so not the worst guess in the world. Pepper plantations. I think this is a canal. So canals are most common like down here in the very south of the country. So I'm going to go near Vinh Thuan. Okay, I'll take it. I correctly identified that it was a South Canal meta. So canals are very commonly found in the Mekong Delta, and they can also be found in the north, but the landscape is very different. Okay. All right, definitely a better score than the first time, 11K. Let's keep going. Did I have this round before? Question mark. I'm not sure, but we do have these kind of like greenhouse buildings around. I don't know what plants are inside of them. The pole tops, there's supports under like the thin bar on both sides, so it's not just like a one-sided support. Although the lamp pad has something interesting. So lamp pad is connected to like the thin pole, but there's kind of like an underarm support with like a line, it looks like, in the middle. So that could be potentially the meta. I don't see any like rubber trees with like the bands around them. There are signs with like, you know, place names and stuff, but I feel like that's probably not going to be the meta. I think it is going to be like the lamp head because that does feel like unique to the other rounds of scenes. So reddish dirt, I guess because of the reddish dirt, I'll go like up here near like Quang Truk and we'll see where we are. Okay, I got 2.5K. We're a little bit more eastern, so these were Dalat greenhouses. So greenhouses can be found in Dalat Valley, and it looks like that is kind of just a little bit more east of where I guess from the Cambodia border. Okay. Anything I recognize. So one-sided additional support under the pole top. Nothing with the lamps. Do I see rubber trees? I don't think I see rubber trees. Canals? No. Traditional architecture? No. It's probably whatever this kind of like palm is, maybe. It's like telling me like, are those coconuts ever? It could be coconuts. I feel like it's going to be like a vegetation meta, and I think it's going to be maybe the coconut palms. I think those are coconut palms at least. So let's go near Do Luong. Okay, all the way further south, this was a one-sided pole top meta. So one-sided top is where the pole has a crossbar on one side with a single diagonal support beam. It can either be completely on one side or uneven to one side. So important to note that you should not confuse it with trapezoidal support, which has an extra horizontal segment in the support beam. Okay, so if it kind of looks like this, like with one horizontal line and one line going like that, then it's a one-sided pole top and you're more common in the south. Okay, one-sided pole top, more common in the south. Spinning around to see if I see this in the next round. I don't see that one-sided pole top, okay. We are definitely near some sort of like farmland. It feels very flat. I mean, in the way distance, I can see a mountain in the back. This meter box. There's no slits on the side of it, so I don't think it's like that one region over here. They're just like concrete poles with holes, which I feel like are standard across the whole country. So no architecture meta as far as I'm aware. Probably a plant meta or landscape meta or something. It could also be this like tank that's outside of this person's house. I don't know if it's like a water tank, I think, question mark. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be like a vegetation meta or maybe a water tank meta, but I don't think I've had this particular round yet. So let's go further north near Nam Dinh. Okay, ooh, I didn't know that there were percentages of holy poles. So this is a pole meta. It's called the 75% holy pole. Concrete poles with holes running up to 75% of the height of it are found almost exclusively in northern Vietnam. Note that there are poles that holes go up to 50% of the height all over Vietnam. Okay, so 75% holy pole, so it doesn't go to like the very tippy top, but it is over 50% of the pole. So I think this one might take some time for me to get like used to. I might need to see like a 50% pole right next to a 75% pole, but if it's 75%, it should be more in the northern part. Okay, I'll try to look for that, but it might be something that I get wrong a couple times at first, so that's okay. It looks like they might be on some sort of like motorcycle trekker just from like this like little like glimpse of like the helmet and like side mirror that I see here. So maybe there's like motorcycle trekker at some region of Vietnam that I don't know yet. There are no one-sided pole supports. Okay, do I see rubber trees? I don't think these are rubber trees. Okay, I mean, I think this is definitely some sort of like tree or plant that I should probably recognize. I can't see if this pole has holes going up 75% of the pole. It's a little bit hard to tell. There is some sort of fruit hanging from these like trees on my left side, but I can't tell what fruit it is. I mean, like it has the shape of like, I feel like I see like a peach, like a apple or something like that, but it's like neither of those fruits. It's something like that. Is it like mango ever? But there's some sort of fruit tree on the left here. So let's go near Hue and we'll see where we are. Okay, we were further south, so triangle supports. So when two supports of the main crossbar, the pole, form triangle, it should put you in the south of the country. There are similar supports that look like trapezoids, so make sure it's actually a triangle. These poles appear rarely north, but there's always some other clue to note it's not south. Okay, so triangle supports, and I think the ones that are not triangles, like the ones that are like kind of like that shape, are also in the south, so I'll have to see it a couple times for me to remember it. Okay, we are in a city, so I feel like I'm gonna see like probably the city name on like a lot of the addresses around, but I'm gonna try to like not focus on that and try to see like if there's any metas or things first. There is a lot of whatever this like palm is with like a lot of like the leaves kind of like pointing down. It does feel like a little bit hazy, the coverage. Like I'm pretty sure it's Gen 4, but for some reason it feels like there's almost like a cloud of dirt over the camera. Ooh, one-sided support under the pole top. Okay, so I think that means we're somewhere further south. So I'm gonna clonk in your ton on for now, and then we'll look around to see if the city name is anywhere. But I don't recognize any of these city names, so I'm just gonna keep it where I am. Okay, cool. We were even further west, so this was a spools pole. So mounted spools are spools mounted directly to the pole. It is almost exclusive to the far south of the country. And then spools are like these like little circular things that are kind of attached to the top of the pole. Okay, so spools pole, exclusive to the far south of the country. Let's keep going. Okay, spinning around. We're in a very mountainous area. Looking at pole tops, no double mounted bracket, no spools as far as I'm aware, I don't think, on the top of the pole. We do have concrete poles around. I don't see any like slits in the side of like the meter box, so I don't think it's that one region. Is this ever traditional architecture? I feel like traditional architecture feels like a very kind of like vague term. Like it could probably point to like different types of like things, but I feel like this feels more like traditional architecture to me. So I'm gonna go kind of more northern. I'll go near Van Giang and we'll see where we are. Okay, this was even further northwest. So plain concrete poles without holes or pinholes are almost exclusively found in the northern part of the country. Okay, I didn't really remark that there were no holes in the pole, so good to know that. It seems like a lot of the meta so far are having to do with like poles or pole tops or supports on the lampposts and things like that. So good to know that that's what I should look out for when I'm region guessing within Vietnam. Okay, spinning around, I'm thinking maybe it's a canal meta because I do see like water and I do see like this little bridge going over the water on the side. Ooh, we do see spools. Spools on the top of the pole are common in the south, I think. So I'll go near Ben Tre. Okay, even further south, but I think I guess in a region where the spools can be, so it's not a horrible guess. The spools pole, mounted spools are mounted directly to the pole, almost exclusive to the far south of the country. Okay. Spinning around, so it could be an architecture meta. I'm outside of a house that's like kind of like white with like reddish / brownish like bordering on a lot of like the features and designs. Okay, so the meta potentially could be the lamppost. It has that double bracket. So the lamppost with a double bracket is more common between Da Nang and Khoi Non, I think. So I'm going to go in between near Sa Huyen. Okay, so I think I guessed in the correct area. So side-mounted lamp. So lamp mounted to the side of the pole with 2 brackets is only found in the region shown on the second image. And I'm pretty sure I guessed in that region, so I will take 3.5 there. Spinning around to take a look at everything. So double supports on the pole. So there's like 2 sets of those kind of like diagonal things. I think it's more common in the south if I remember. Like I feel like a lot of the double supports or single support things are in the south. These poles have holes up to the top, so it's not those northern poles that don't have any holes in it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pole meta, so I'm going to go near Kai Lai and we'll see where we are. Okay, cool. So this was the triangle support meta. So when 2 supports of the main crossbar of the pole form triangle, it should put you in the south of the country. Note that there are similar supports that look like trapezoids, so make sure it's actually a triangle. Okay. 4,000, we'll take that. Spinning around. Okay, so I mean, the thing that takes my attention the most is clearly like this kind of like plantation on the side. So it's some sort of like fruit plantation or vegetable. I don't know exactly which one it is. It's something like blossoming out of these plants. Looking at the pole top to see if that can help me with region guessing. There are like horizontal bars with kind of like triangle supports under. So like, you know, like 1 arm to the left and 1 arm to the right. So it could be in the south of the country, but they feel a little bit uneven, but I think that just might be my perspective. So this is definitely like the main focus of this round here. Now I don't know what kind of fruit or vegetation it is yet. So hopefully we learn what it is in this meta, but I'm going to go kind of like in the middle to south area. So I'll go near Buon Tria. Okay, even further south. So it was a triangle support meta, and we were even further south of where I guessed. Okay. All right, 12K, not bad. I'll play this map one more time, and we'll see how many more metas I can learn, and we'll move on to the second Vietnam metas map. Okay. This feels like a very similar round to the last round I was in, so I'm going to look at the pole tops just because I think that was like the majority of what I had the past couple of rounds. So no triangle supports actually from what I can see. No slits in the side of like the meter box. I guess whatever just like plant this is this dragon fruit? Because it's kind of like pinkish with like greenish like spikes growing out. Is that what the plant is? Maybe it is dragon fruit. I don't know if that'll be the meta. It might just be a different meta. Oh, is it the 75% pole? So poles are going up to the top of the pole, so I don't think it's a 75% pole. And it's not the one with no holes in it either, so not the 75% pole. None of the ones with like the triangle supports or uneven supports. It could be a vegetation meta. I think this is like a dragon fruit plantation question mark. Is this ever like traditional architecture? I'm not sure. It's kind of like white with like, you know, blue bordering on a lot of the features and designs. So this one I'm a little bit unsure about, but I'm gonna go near Hoc Thon. Okay, it was a lot further south, but on the bright side, I did correctly identify that it was a dragon fruit plantation. So dragon fruit plantations are most common in Binh Thuan, but can be found all over the south. Okay, so particularly in this area that's highlighted on the map here, which is kind of like east of Ho Chi Minh City and closer to the coast. Okay, dragon fruit plantations kind of east of Ho Chi Minh City. First thing I'm looking at is the pole top. So there's a thin bar with supports under it on both sides, so it kind of forms like a little triangle. So it tells me probably further south, but I'm going to take a look at all the other things around me. Holes in the pole do not go up to the top. They don't even go up to 50%. So it's not the 75% pole. And it's not the pole with no holes in it either. It's probably just going to be like the triangle support meta is my guess. I'm looking to see if there's any like rubber trees or things around. Something interesting is that a lot of these trees have like white paint at the bottom halves of the tree. So I don't know if that means anything in particular in this region. Some of the trees have like a number spray painted onto them. Like one of them has 44, one is 43. I don't know if that potentially is a meta, but it does feel like we're in a particularly big city. So I'm actually going to go like in Ho Chi Minh City and we'll see where we are. Okay, we were a little bit even further southwest, but it was the triangle support meta, which we know, so we'll keep going. Okay, spinning around. So this round I think we've had before because I feel like I remember this bridge and the canal, I think, because I think it's a canal meta. So somewhere pretty far south. And then, yeah, there's spools and the pole. So the two things that point me to the south are the spools and the pole and the canals. And those are all found very far south. So I'm going to go near Kantho. Okay, even further south, that is okay. But we got 2.3, so that is progress. And then I think this is the first meta we had. This is rubber tree plantation meta. Now, do I remember exactly where it is? I want to say they're further south, but I don't remember particularly where, like if it's like the whole of the south or if it's in like one region of the south, but I think these are rubber tree like plants because they have like the blue bands and stuff around them. So I feel like it was vaguely south, but I don't know how south it was. I'm gonna go near Bak Noi. Okay, we're a little bit closer to like Cambodia border. So these were rubber trees. So rubber tree plantations are primarily found in the provinces to the north of Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, so it wasn't the greatest region guess for me because I kind of went to like the east of Ho Chi Minh City and I should have gone more north, as well as in several parts of the Central Highlands. They can be recognized by their thin trunks. Okay. This is a new location, I'm pretty sure. Are these rubber trees? I don't think so, because the trunks feel a little bit wider than like the thin trunks of like the rubber trees we saw before. I don't think these are like fruit bearing trees because I don't see any like fruits growing off of them unless it's just like in a different season and I can't see the fruits yet. The pole tops that I can see, because there's like a couple pole tops I can see all around me, do have an extra arm support under, so it's not like a full like triangle with one on each side support. It's only a one-sided support pole top, but I think that's also found somewhat south. So it could be a vegetation meta, whatever like these trees are. It could be a pole top meta. I think I'm gonna go near even further south. I'll go near Tra Vinh and we'll see where we are. Okay, it was just a rubber tree meta again, so I definitely guessed like too far south of Ho Chi Minh City. I guess I just didn't recognize the rubber trees in this location exactly because the trunks felt like a little bit wider than the last one I saw. But good to know that they can look different or, you know, like different sizes, maybe depending on like the season or when the coverage was taken. So 1.6, ending on a score of 9.1k. Let's move on to the second map. Next up, we have a learnable Vietnam. Okay, so I am in a location that is near a fairly big like mountainous range. It feels like there's mountains all around in different directions. Now these mountains feel very like forested. There's a ton of trees all over them. They don't feel very jagged. They're not the most smooth either. There's also like a ton of motorcycles around. So do I see any pole tops or things that I recognize? I don't think I see any like pole tops I recognize, but the poles, like I feel like this feels like a large like bamboo poles, so maybe that is something. I'm gonna go in the far north because I feel like I haven't had a bamboo pole meta, but that could potentially be it. So I'll go near Viet Tri. Okay, so I correctly identified the meta even though I like didn't know exactly what it was in that round. So bamboo. So thin bamboo poles can be found in the rural areas of the northwestern mountains. So even more northwest of where I guess in Vietnam. Okay. Ooh, okay, so this pole has the double bracket. So the double bracket with the lamp not attached to the actual pole itself, but like a foot out, is found between Da Nang and Quy Non, I think. So I'm going to go in the middle again and hope that this is correct. Okay, a little bit further north, so maybe I should have taken more time in that round, but this was a central pole meta. So, okay, so this pole can be found in central Vietnam. It kind of looks like it says a mountain shape and a triangle shape. So I do see like the triangle shape on the top of the pole, but I think I'll have to see it like in the round. So I'm gonna actually like open up the round so I can take a better look at it. Let me move one more down the road. Okay, so I do see the triangle kind of like thing at the top of the pole. So that is more found in central Vietnam, the triangle thing at the top. Okay. This is some sort of plantation. Are these dragon fruit? I think it's like, I think this is dragon fruit. I mean, it's a little bit hard to tell because they're all green, which I assume just means they're like earlier in their growing stage or whatever. But they certainly have like the spikiness of a dragon fruit. So dragon fruits are like near the coast, I think, like east of Ho Chi Minh City. So I'm putting it near Binh Thuan for now, but let me look to see if there's anything else. Double supports on the poles, which also maybe leans me more towards the south. Yeah, I think this is going to be a dragon fruit plantation meta, so I think I'm in an okay area. Oh my god. Like, I was so far zoomed in because, like, I was super duper close. 4.7k? Okay, I'll definitely take that. This was a dragon fruit meta, so mostly found in two small areas in the south, around the city of Phan Thiet in Binh Thuan province, and a small area on the border between Long An and Tiên Giang, northeast of Mai Tho. Dragon fruit resembles the end of an upturned wet mop. I don't really know if I get that visual, but I think I can recognize dragon fruit, so we'll keep going. Okay, so is this a canal ever because of how much water and stuff I see around? So I'm immediately like leaning more towards like the south of Vietnam. I'm looking to see if I see any like pole tops or things in the distance. Nothing. I mean, like maybe I see like a one-sided support, but it's like a little bit too far for me to like rely on that as the information. I'm also seeing what I think might be traditional architecture, which would lean me more towards like the north part of the country. We're also definitely near like some sort of farmland or plantation because of like the squareness of like where what I see on the side of me and like the water between. Like it feels like it's very like planned for like based on whatever, you know, plants or things are in there. I think I'm gonna go in the far south though and guess that it might be a canal meta, but I could be wrong in that we're in the far north because I don't know if this architecture in the back counts as traditional architecture with like the reddish roof. So let's see. Okay, so we were in the far north, so it didn't say it was like the northern architecture meta, but I think I should have leaned more on that versus like the canal meta. So this was a northern delta. So northern delta, if you see a bit flat open area with lots of canals, it's gonna either be the very south bit around the Mekong Delta, which is kind of where I guessed, I think, or it's one of the other bits along the coast. If you see mountains in the distance, it's not the Mekong Delta, and if they're northern mountains, they'll be the northern delta. Okay, so looks like the northern delta is kind of a little bit southeast of Hanoi. So if I see canals, it's either very south or very north, and basically use mountains to differentiate between the two. We see a lot of reddish dirt around, which is interesting. Okay, so I think this is the first time getting the trapezoidal pole top. So I do see like kind of a trapezoidal shape of supports under like a thin bar at the top. Is this the A-frame thing? I think this is. I think I see like a tiny kind of like A/triangle shape at the top of the pole. So Central Vietnam, I'm pretty sure from this. And because of the amount of red dirt, like where, I don't know like technically like what the, you know, regions are for Central Vietnam, but I guess I'll go maybe here near Pleiku because it's kind of near like Cambodia border where I think there's like a lot of red dirt. So let's see. Oh my god. Like, wow, okay, so I guess the right city, which is like, that's crazy. So Pleiku, so the area around Pleiku is fairly flat with red soil, similar to the area of Cambodia that it borders. The more southern areas bordering Cambodia are very dry but not as red. Wow, okay, so I guess my logic of it being like red dirt, kind of like Cambodia, like that's literally the meta here. So go me getting 4.7 on the round. We'll definitely take that. Okay, so let's keep learning and keep going. Okay. Spinning around. So the first thing I notice there are these trees that are on the side of the road. They're very tall with very thin trunks, and there's kind of like fuzzy pine needles at the top. So I don't know what kind of pine trees those are. We do see very round poles with no holes on it, which I think would lead me towards the very north if I remember from like the pole metas from earlier, but I don't know if the meta here will be maybe like the pole tops because there's an interesting shape to these pole tops, if it'll be a pole meta with no holes in it, or if it might be like whatever this vegetation / pine tree is. So I'll go near Viet Tri and we'll see where we are. Okay, so it was a pine tree meta, so I correctly identified that at least it was a pine, but I was in the wrong region. I was a lot further east near the coast. These are Khasi pines. So clusters of Khasi pines growing on hills are very typical of far northeastern Vietnam, specifically the provinces of Long Son and Quang Ninh. Okay, so up here, kind of a little bit northeast of Hai Phong, if I see Khasi pines. These are canals, and I had this round. Do I see mountains in the distance? No, but I think this is the round where I guessed in the Mekong Delta, but it was like the northern delta. Because of the architecture, I was like, oh, I should rely on architecture more. So I'm going to go near Nam Dinh because I think this is around the area where it was before. Okay, cool. We got 4.3, so this was the Northern Delta meta, and I think it helps because I had that round before, and I remembered exactly where it was. So I don't think we've had this round before. There's a lot of like dirt and mud on my left. There's not really like any sort of plant I can see being grown. Pole tops. Okay, so the lamp heads on these pole tops, like, they feel very small. Like normally there's like a couple feet of like distance between like the actual lamp head itself and the pole, but the lamp head feels like almost like only like a foot away from the pole. I don't know if this like support, like have I seen this version before with like the additional lines? I feel like I have. It's not a 75% pole because there's holes all the way to the top. Do these feel like canals? Not particularly. It's definitely some sort of like palm thing around. So, ooh, are these at one pine tree? I don't, yeah, I'm not certain on this one. I feel like I'm gonna go near Van Ninh. We'll see where we are, but yeah, this one I feel a little bit unsure about. Okay, this is the Mekong Delta. So I didn't think it was a canal, but maybe it was like, I just got like too focused on like, you know, like the dirt and the trees and stuff around me, and I wasn't paying enough attention to the water. But the Mekong Delta, we know, very far south, lots of canals, so just need to be able to recognize it better. Okay, so in this next round that we're in, I'm zoomed into like whatever this plant is on the side, so maybe that is the meta. They're very like short plants, like they're not super tall. I can't tell if there's any like fruit on them, so I don't think I see any like, dragon fruits or anything. But spinning around, I do see a lot of tall mountains. Like they're very, very tall, very forested, a little bit pointy. Potentially it's like a traditional architecture meta, so I'm like leaning towards somewhere far north. I do see like a water tank on top of this building. It's like a silver tank with a blue band around it, and it says tan on it. So I guess because of are those bamboo poles? No, that's just like a wooden, I think it's just like a wooden thing. Ooh, is this a 50% pull? I don't think it's a 75 or 50% pull. I think because I'm leaning more towards like the northern architecture part of it, I'm gonna go further north. So I'll go near Hanoi and we'll see where we are. Okay, even further north, but it was a northern fence meta. So wooden fences made out of sticks or even bamboo in a grid-like pattern, similar to fences commonly found in northeast India, are found in the northern parts of Vietnam. Okay, so northern fence, wooden fences, northern Vietnam. Okay, look for the fences. This is definitely a round I've not had before because we're on like kind of like a slanted, like we're on a slope, a hill. So curving up this hill, what am I noticing? The lampposts have like a weird shape under them. I don't really know how to describe it. Like there's like two circles under the lampposts, and then there's also like a curved bar, but it's not really like connected to the lamppost itself. There's these like concrete things on the side of the road that have like red and white stripes, and it's not like the waystones or even like, are they barriers technically? Because there's like concrete, like a little bit concrete wall behind it. I do see maybe like a little bit of like terrace farming kind of in front of me, but I don't know what plan it is, but it does feel like it's kind of like step. It could be northern architecture. I'm trying to like get a grasp on like what I think like the elements of it are, but I don't know if I can exactly describe it. I think it's just, yeah, I think I'm gonna go somewhere far north because of maybe the architecture mostly. I do see trapezoidal supports, but that's only on one pole, so I don't know if that is the whole area. Yeah, let's go somewhere far north and we'll learn what this is, if it's a vegetation meadow with like the terrace farming. I'm gonna go near Hua Bin. Okay, this was even further northwest. This was a northern fence meta. Again, I didn't look at the fences, so I gotta look for that in the next round. Or the next round where I see kind of like a lot of farmland and stuff. Okay, 9.9k, let's keep going. Okay, we are on a major highway / road, so it could potentially be a major highway meta. Like it's like, oh, you're on this route or this number. It does feel like a divided highway because there's these like things in the middle which are separating both sides of the highway that have, a bunch of like plants and bushes and stuff in them. Looking at the poles, what do I recognize? There are triangle supports under, so I think that is more in the southern part of the country. Do I have anything else here? I don't really think there's anything else that I recognize, so I'm gonna go near Ho Chi Minh City because I feel like if there's like a big divided highway, probably gonna be near a major city, but we'll see where it is. Oh gosh. Oh, there's an island? Okay, so I didn't know that there were islands in Vietnam, so the Phu Quoc Islands. So Phu Quoc Island, an offshore island near Cambodia, is also covered. The roads are often either unpaved with red soil or 4-lane roads with a large median strip. Okay, so if I see 4-lane roads with a large median strip, we're on this island, which is kind of near Cambodia as well. I didn't know that this was part of Vietnam. I guess I've never like seen or zoomed in to this particular part of the land, but good to know that that exists and that it has official Google coverage. So the island with the 4 lanes, we're there. Okay. We see a lot of reddish dirt. Okay. We're definitely in a very like forested, very mountainous area. I actually don't see a single like pole or pole top anywhere. I do see a waystone and it has kind of like a square top. It's like a red top top or cap to the waist zone, and then the bottom part of it is white, and this is H9 over 93, I think are the numbers on it, but that doesn't really like mean anything to me. So it could be something to do with the waist zone. It could be with like the mountainous forested area. Maybe this like vibe guessing wise, this feels more like northern Vietnam to me, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm gonna go near Yen Bai. Okay, even more northeastern, so northern mountains. So the north has very distinct mountains. Looking at some images and you'll never confuse them with southern mountains. Okay, I mean I did guess in the northern part, I was just like not as far north as like where the actual location was, but I think like if it was like in a duel or something like that would be a pretty good region guess. Like if I wasn't playing a Vietnam only map. Okay, so looking around, we have a lot of buildings that are maybe like white with like red roofs, so maybe leaning towards that northern architecture style. The pole tops are not very clear because the coverage is a little bit like hazy. It's definitely like overcast, this coverage, because the clouds are covering the whole sky. Do I see any like plants or something that I recognize? Not really. I feel like this is like a delta area, but because of how many mountains there are, maybe I'm thinking it's like the northern delta. So that is like my best guess on the metas that I do know. I could be wrong here because like the dirt is very red, so is it ever near Cambodia border? I'm gonna go near Nam Dinh though, and my guess is that it's a northern delta meta. Okay, so it wasn't the northern delta meta, but it was a tea plantation meta. So tea plantations. So tea plantations are found in the northern and central mountainous regions, Phu Tho province, Cao Bang province, Lam Dong province, high production, but possibly limited street view coverage. Okay, so need to recognize what a tea plantation looks like, and that is in the north, kind of west of Hanoi. Okay, these are dragon fruit because I remember, I think I had this exact location before with the spiky green dragon fruit. Dragon fruits are kind of near the southern coast, a little bit east of Ho Chi Minh City. I'm gonna go near Dinh Thuan. Okay, cool. We got 4.799. So dragon fruit plantations, that seems like a meta that I'm really getting right every time. So at least from all these metas, hopefully I remember this one at least, because this is the one I'm getting like the high score on, I think, consistently. Okay, so this is definitely some sort of plantation. Is this rice ever? There's like very short like blades of like, I want to say like almost looks like grass, so I feel like this is some sort of plant. It's not just like grass. The holes go all the way to the top of the pole, I think. I'm trying to see if there's any supports on the poles. I don't actually think there's any supports under the poles at all. Like I don't see any on either side. I think these are parts of the wire. So it's definitely like a plantation meta, and I definitely see mountains in the distance, so not someplace super flat. Does this count as like a canal ever? Potentially. So I think it's gonna be some sort of vegetation meta. I'm gonna go further north. I'm gonna go near Nam Dinh again because maybe it's like the northern delta, but it's a very mountainous area. So let's learn where it is and what the meta is. Okay, so a little bit further south of where I was, these were Thanh Hoa rice fields. So the northern rice fields around Thanh Hoa and Nha An usually have a distinct vibe, consisting of a flat agricultural landscape with hills commonly visible in the distance. Okay, so the rice fields near Thanh Hoa are kind of like a little bit south of Hanoi in this region here. Okay. 12K, not bad. I'm going to move on to the third map. Last but not least, we have a learnable Vietnam place name prefixes. Okay, so I don't know which part of this address that we're zoomed into is going to be the place name prefix, so I'm just going to click in Ho Chi Minh City for now, and then we'll like learn what to look for the rest of the rounds, and we'll like learn how to identify for the future. Okay, so the place name prefix was Soc, so that was like a little bit south of Can Tho, like in the very south of the country. Okay, so Soc. if I see that. I still am not sure which of these is the place name prefix, so I'm assuming this is the company, like Quancom, because it's like telecom, like something like that. Let's do one more round of just like guessing in a city. So I'll go Ho Chi Minh City again, and we'll learn which one of these is the prefix. So, okay, Doc was a prefix there, and that was kind of more in the center part of Vietnam, kind of near Cambodia and Laos border, kind of near that try point there. Okay, so if I see the Doc name prefix, not the Doc name prefix. Maybe Khan is the prefix here. I think it might be like the last part of the name. Bak Khan. So I'll go near Kai Lai in the south. Is it Khan? Is that the prefix? Okay. I think I'm looking at the wrong part of the address for the prefix because I didn't see Na there. Let me like actually click into the round. That would be a smarter way to learn what I should be looking for. I'm like, I should open up the rounds before. Okay, so I do see Na now. It's like the very first word of the address, which makes sense if I think about it with like a little bit of brain cells. That is the start of the address because it's a prefix, but Na prefix. Okay, so Na prefix, very far north. Now I know what I'm looking for. It only took me 3 rounds to figure it out, but that's okay. So Na Mom. So we just had Na, which is in the very north. So we're gonna go near Bak Khan. Okay, we got the same one twice in a row, so we got a pretty good score there. Northern prefix. Okay, so the prefix here is Quang. I don't think we've learned that prefix so far, so let's go near Da Nang and we'll learn where this prefix is more common. Okay, so it looks like the Quang place name prefix is all along kind of like the eastern coast of Vietnam, like all the way up from like where Hanoi is, all the way down to kind of near Nha Trang and kind of like the south central part. So it seems like it's more like a coastal prefix commonality. So at least like not going very inward in Vietnam if I see that. Okay. All right, 5.9K, not great, but the first 3 rounds, I didn't really know what I was looking for, so hopefully it gets better from here, so let's keep going. Okay, we are looking for the address. Is it San? I think San is going to be the prefix here. I don't think I've learned San so far, and I don't recognize anything else here as like a city that I'm aware of in Vietnam, so let's go near Hue. Nah, hold on. Was I looking at the wrong thing? Okay, so I do see Na here. So on this like address, it says San Be Na San My San Son Ma. So I guess I was supposed to kind of like ignore the first 2 parts of the address. So maybe that was like the city name or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess maybe it's whatever the first 2 capitalized words are in the address. That would be the region name, and that would be like the prefix that I should look out for. So that's my guess here, but this one's confusing to me a little bit, but let's keep going. Okay, so we have Na again at the very start. So we're gonna go up here near Hanoi. Okay, even further north, but we'll take it. It was in the northern part. Okay, this one, I think the prefix is Bai. So Bai Se. Did I learn the Bai prefix? I don't think so. Let's go near Dai-Lin. Okay, Muang place name prefix? Hold on, I gotta open up this address again. Okay, so it looks like the prefix was Muang and not Bai Se. So I think this is gonna take some getting used to of like learning to recognize which parts of the address are actually like the prefixes here, because in this round and the previous round, like I'm supposed to ignore the first like 2 words that I see in the address, and it's actually like the second set of things that I should be looking at for the prefix. So Muang is kind of in the northwestern part. Okay. So I think this first part is probably just like the actual like street number because it has like a number in it. So it's like So 68 Le Douane. So maybe the prefix name here is Thon. And I don't think I know Thon. It could also be Buon is the prefix here, but I'm not sure which of the two it is. So I don't think I know either prefix anyway or like what regions they're in. So I'm going to go near Hue. Okay, even further south, I think Buon was the prefix there. Let me open up the round and see. Okay, so it was like the last part of the address. So I guess if there's two parts of an address separated, maybe it's like the very last part. Okay. Okay, so Fan 3, Bambo, Budong, Bin, Phuoc. So maybe the prefix here is Bin, potentially. But I don't know where Bin prefix is more common. So I'm going to go near Bac Nui. Actually, no, I see Bin Thuan here. But it's Bin Phuoc. So maybe it is actually like around here. I'm going to plonk it here for now. Unless this prefix is common all over the country. Bac Nui. Don't see this particular city. So yeah, I'm going to put it here near Bin Thuan and we'll see where we are. Okay, we're a little bit more northwestern, but this was the Bu place name prefix, which is kind of near Cambo border. I'm going to open up the round because I don't remember Bu on the address. Okay, so Bu is actually like the prefix in the third set of things on this address here. I'm just confused about like what part of the address I should be looking at because it doesn't feel like consistent each time, but maybe it's not supposed to be consistent. I'm supposed to just like recognize like if I see a certain prefix in any part of the address, then I should like think a certain region. So I'm gonna keep playing and hopefully I will get better at recognizing prefixes, no matter what part of the address they're in. So Plai, Jo Drop, Dak Nang, Kontum. I'm guessing the prefix here is Dak or Kon as like the first ones because the first three words don't feel like ones I've seen before. So maybe Dak or Kon are the prefixes. So let's see if I see any city names with Dak or Kon starting. We have Dak, but not Dak. Dak or Kon? Dak To. Okay, I'm gonna plonk in your Dak To because that's the first one I've seen with the same like first three letters, and we'll see where it is. Okay, not far at all from where I guessed. It was 4,000 points. So the Dak place name prefix, which is near where I guessed, near the Cambodia Laos try point, we'll definitely take that. 4,000 points there. Okay, Buon Bong. I think the prefix is gonna be Buon here because I feel like I've definitely learned that one. Now, do I remember where it is? Not particularly. So we're zooming in the map to see if we can see any city names with Buon as the first. Okay, here's Buon Ma Thuat and Buon Tria. So I could potentially like look for this particular city. I'll give a quick look around this area because there's 2 or 3 cities with that prefix, so it could be findable. Buon Bung, Buon Don, Buon Huo. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. I think we should get a pretty good score here, even at Buon Tria. Nope, Buon Bung we're looking for. A pretty good score, even if I don't get the exact 5K. Buon Ho. Kind of getting further from the places. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna plug it here and we'll see where it is. Okay, a little bit further north, but we got 3.2K, so not bad at all. It was the Buon place name prefix. Okay. So I think the method for this map, at least for like how I'm learning it and trying to understand it, is that maybe I should look for city names that share a common prefix in like any part of the address and not necessarily like the first two words. So what is the prefix here? Duong, Huang, Du. Is that? I don't know. Or is this it up here? Huang? I don't know if that is like the prefix here, Huang. I'm like trying to, like, is this... Let's look at another address to try to figure it out. Not super clear on that address. Huang Dia. Okay, so maybe Huang is the prefix here. So let's see if we see anything that starts with Huang. But we'll give it a look around. There's Hawaii, but not Huang. Hanoi, Hua. I'm not seeing like this particular prefix. I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right thing. I'm gonna plunk in here Hua Bin and we'll see where it is. Okay, it was all the way further south. So this was a sock placed in prefix. Let's open it up again. Okay, so it was just like the bigger font. I guess I was looking at the like smaller address under the big font. So I was just like not looking at the right thing there. So sock prefix is all the way kind of further south. I just misidentified what part I was supposed to look at. Is it gonna be... I think I see Buong again. I do see like further south, right near Travin. Nope, it was a con place name prefix. Okay, I can see con at the end of the address now after clicking like open the round again. It is at the very end. I think I could have taken more time to look around maybe at the other buildings that are around me for the place name prefix, but I don't even know if I think I see it on any addresses very clearly. So I think this is just like me learning that I need to be able to recognize the prefix in any part of the address, even though I keep saying that and keep not recognizing them. Okay, so Fuang prefix potentially, but it's kind of attached to the numbers. I'm not sure there. Okay, that is probably going to be the only... There's like a 4-letter thing over there. Only part of the address that's like super clear. Okay, so... Kong. It could be Kong. It could be Muang, Dien, or Fuang. I don't recognize any of those prefixes off the top of my head, so I think I want to go further north. Okay, even more northwest. This was the Muang place name prefix. And we got AK in that round. I'm going to play this map one more time and see if I can get a good understanding of at least what to look for in an address for the prefixes. But if not, we'll call it a day after that because I think we've learned a ton of metas today and hopefully a lot of them stick. So we are in a route sign this time, not an actual like, address on a building or whatever. It says Cow Doc Fan. So is it the doc prefix or is it the cow? Let's look for cow or doc in any of the city names. That's probably too far zoomed in. Cow or doc? Danang, Son, Koi, Kim, Cha, Bin, duck, but not doc. Okay, doc. This is Doc To, okay. So potentially around Doc To, but we're looking for Doc Fan. So Doc Man. Okay, so definitely like a lot of cities with this like prefix, if this is the correct area. Doc Rong. I think I'll guess where I am, kind of near like Vietnam label click, but I'm seeing a couple of cities with this prefix, so hopefully this is the right area. Okay, I'll take getting 3k points there. This was the doc place name prefix, and we got a pretty good score, so I'll take 3k. Okay, Muong is definitely the prefix here because I feel like that is something that I recognize, but do I remember where it is? No. So I'm pretty sure Muong is a prefix even though I don't know where it is. I think I'll just like take that as a dub, hopefully, unless the prefix here is Son, which it could be. There's Buon right there. Muong is what we're looking for. Oh, Son. I think actually, wait, no. Actually, I think Son is a prefix. So this is Son Doi. So we're looking for Son La. Oh, Sun Ties. There's a lot of Sun. Okay, so Sun La. Sun Lam. That's close, but not exactly it. I'm not seeing the exact like city or province that's like up here, but I think there's a lot of cities that start with the same thing here, so I'm gonna click here. Okay, it was even further north. So it was the Muong place name prefix, not the Son place name prefix, and that's further northwest of where I guessed. Okay. Okay, so Sun prefix, Sun La. We just had Sun La, which was like, well, like the prefix was Muong before, but do I even see Muong on here at all? No, but I saw Sun La before, so wherever we were in the previous round, it was like somewhere up here with this like same last two words together, Sun La. Because I was looking where the other suns were and they weren't there. So I feel like it's somewhere around here because that's where the last one was. Do I see Muong on here at all? Unless this like these last two words like Sun La means something else and it's not a city name or region name. I'm gonna plonk it here and we'll wait, was it actually further northwest? Muong was up here. I think it was up here. But like is Sun La up here? Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna plonk it here and we'll see where it is. Okay, even further northwest, this was the Na placing prefix. So Na placing prefix all across kind of like the very northern part of Vietnam, from like Hanoi to further north in the country. Which one of these is the prefix name? Is it Din? But that's attached to the number, so that could just not be it. I should look at the bigger letters. Is it Nin? N-I-N-H. Or is there anything here? Let's look at another address. So maybe the prefix name is N-I-N-H? Nin? I don't know if that's one I've learned yet. So I'm scanning the country for city names or places that start with that same beginning. But I'm not seeing any, so I don't know if I'm looking at the right part of the prefix here. Oops, I just hit my mic. Da Nang, Kem Da Nang, but Da Nang is up here. So are we in Da Nang? Because it does feel like a very big city. Kong. I think I'm just gonna plonk it here in Da Nang because I saw Da Nang on this sign. So let's see if we're near here. Okay, it was the Quang placing prefix, but that's all along kind of like the eastern coast of Vietnam. Still getting 2.2k because it's a very large area of the country. Last but not least, we have the sign. Can I recognize the prefix name it wants me to recognize? Ooh. Okay. So I don't think any of these stand out to me as a prefix that I've learned so far. It could be Con, like K-O-N. That could be the prefix name. But I think I'm confused about which part of the address to focus on. So since this is the last round, I'm going to see if I can take any other clues in to help me region guess within the country instead of just focusing on the place name, which I'm not able to like particularly get the region from that. So there is trapezoidal supports. Okay. Trapezoidal supports on the poles. The poles do not look like they have holes in them. So actually, wait, they do. Hold on. Ooh, this one is only like one side of a trapezoid. So did it break off, or is that the actual, what it should look like? I'm seeing a lot of different pole tops. Reddish dirt. I don't know what this plant is, so I'm low-key gonna go here near Yen Than, because maybe it's like a tea plantation. I'm not sure exactly what this is. And I don't know what the prefix is in this round. So let's learn where it is and we'll call it a day. Okay, this was the con placing prefix. Let me figure out where in the sign that was. Okay, so it was con. It was like the second to last word on this like first line at the very top. So I just missed that. That is okay. We're closer to like kind of Vietnam label click. But overall, we got a score of 9.3K. Okay, so that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video of me learning Vietnam region guessing metas in Geoguessr for 1 hour. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Also have the maps linked in the description if you want to try them out yourself. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla, and have a great day.